This morning I went out with my mom to go eat some breakfast. We went to go get some Mexican food, and I was talking with her, having a good time. We hadn't talked this deeply in a while because we aren't really able to see each other just due to the scheduling differences in our calendars for work, essentially, even though we do live together. But, anyways, so we were having a conversation, and I just had to admit to her, I told her, Mom, lately I've been just feeling like I'm not enough. And she asked me, she's like, what do you mean you're not enough? And I said, I don't feel like I'm enough as a son. I don't feel like I'm enough as a man, as a partner, as a brother, as a friend. And she started asking me, well, why do you believe that you're not enough as a son, for example? And I said, well, Mom, I could be making more money to help you. And I guess I could be doing more somehow. And she's like, well, you're already making money and you're already helping me a ton. What makes you feel like you could be doing more? And I said, yeah, there's always something more to do. She's she said, yeah, but there's always something less that you could be doing as well. I mean, there's many 18-year-old kids who just sit around at home playing video games all day and smoking weed and don't do anything. And in terms of like a partner, for example, she said, what could you be doing better as a partner? And I said, I don't know, maybe, I don't know, making more money probably to be able to kind of treat us to nicer things, my girlfriend and I. And she said, well, I don't think your girlfriend loves you because of money. She she clearly was with you when you had no money, so what makes you feel this way? And I realized that I'm just externalizing all my insecurities around me not being enough because they're tied to money. And so this is a message that I want to give you because there's two types of men, young men in this world. It's the young men that aren't very self-aware, they don't know where they want to go, and they just sit around waiting for life to somehow magically become what they want it to be, which, in my opinion, is stupid and it's lazy. And then there's the other type of men, under which category I fall, which is the type of man that is very ambitious and works hard, but always feels like it's not enough. Restless, constantly overthinking. He feels like he is not doing enough to provide for his family, to protect his family, to even for himself. And so if you're the second type of man, you'll really resonate with this because I'm here to tell you that number one, you are enough, and number two, to give yourself time. So the first thing is that, and I'll say I'll say I, because you can probably relate with what I'm saying. I tie all my value to how much money I make, how much I can provide. And that's a very bad thing to do because, like, let's say you have a bad month, then your value of yourself and your self love and your self respect decreases, and then it increases just based on the money flow. And so when that happens, you're basically telling yourself, hey, I have no value. Only the money that I make has value. So I need to be a money machine because if not, I'm not worth anything. And it's not true at all. There are core tenets and pillars and values and beliefs that make you a man, that make you a virtuous man, that make you who you are, an honorable, respectable young man. And none of them have anything to do with money. As a matter of fact, money comes as the outcome of becoming that man. Okay? So that's the first thing I tell you is to stop focusing so much on the outcome of what's happening and start focusing inward and realizing who you are, what you stand for, and how much virtue you have. Be proud of yourself for that. Give yourself a pat on the back. Be your own best friend. Because think about it. If you had a friend that had your same virtues and was hardworking and was trying to provide for his family in any way possible, then you'd probably be like, hey, cut yourself some fucking slack. So if you can show that love towards your friend, why can't you show that towards yourself? And leading to the second point, give yourself time. I'm not one that's going to tell you, hey, slow it down, man. Don't work. It's fine. Everything will come to you, because we all know that's bullshit. You need to work for what you want, and that's completely fine. However, you have to stop being unrealistic. And I'm not saying this to cause a limiting belief in you. There's people who've made $1 million in 1 year, and I'm not saying you can't do that. I'm saying that you need to appreciate how far you've come. So if you know Dry Creek Wrangler School Dwayne from Dry Creek. He's like this old cowboy who is just full of wisdom, and I've been watching him lately. And he said something very important. He said, think of a number line, like what we learn in school. So we have -5, and then +5. And we have -5, -4, -3, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? We all think that, like, since we're not at 5, we're pieces of shit and we're worthless. But we don't realize that we could be at -5 or even lower. We're probably at 2, or at least like 1, 2, and we're growing, right? So it's better than letting yourself go to -4, -5, and also you're aspiring to be 3, 4, 5, 6. So you have aspirations and you're working hard. Now you have to understand that that takes time and it takes dedication, obviously. And I think social media is a big component of this, at least for me, because let's say last month I made $4,000, which is a good month for me. However, many 18-year-olds on social media, you'll see them, I'm 18 and I make $50,000 a month, and you're like, okay, my $4,000 is worthless compared to that. I could be doing so much more. What are they doing that I'm not doing? Why am I not enough and they are? And that's just not the case at all. There's a quote that I don't know if I came up with, but I think I originally thought of it, at least. I didn't hear it from anybody else, that said, when you're driving your car, if you keep on looking at the other lane to see how that person is driving their car, your car is going to crash. And you're going to die, and you're going to burn. So stay in your own lane and look at how you're driving your own car. And when you start getting better cars, and you start getting better skills to drive that car, one day you'll look behind you, and you realize, holy shit, all those people are behind me, and I'm in front. Wow. But it takes time. It really takes time. And it's something that I've realized. Don't underestimate what you can do in 2 years, and stop overestimating what you can do in 2 months. So for example, I went in 5 or 6 months from making $0 a month to making my first $4,000 a month. Now in 5 months, doing that is pretty cool, because that allowed me to be able to provide for my mom in certain ways. Like I helped her rent this apartment, which is next by the beach, which she loves. We're gonna have to be moving soon, but that's a whole nother story. It allowed me to be able to pay for my friends, food, etc. When I'm with my girlfriend, I don't even have to look at the bill. Obviously, we don't go to Nobu or some shit, but if we go to Five Guys, I don't really have to look. I'm like, okay, this is $40, whatever, I'll make it back. So it allows me to have more abundance in my life. So I'm not constantly stressed about penny pinching. Because I remember back when I used to have like $20 left in my account, and my girlfriend wanted something, and I had to decide whether looking at her with like a little, not a puppy stare, but like really, I don't know, weirdly, and saying, yeah, I don't have money, or buying it for her and just not having any money left in the bank. Now I don't have to do that. Now I actually can provide for myself, I can partially provide for my mom, and I can provide for my loved ones. And that's probably why you want money, because money symbolizes something to you. Excuse me. It symbolizes power, it symbolizes safety, it symbolizes being able to provide for the rest. But don't mistake that with your value. Because if everybody around you had all the money in the world, like you had all the money in the world, and everybody around you knew you, you have all the money, but you just don't have yourself. You're not you anymore. I promise you, they'd take all your money and they'd say, I don't want the money. Burn it. I want you. And for people who you think would rather have the money, then it's probably people who shouldn't be in your life. But never forget who you are, because money will never change that. It never, ever will change who you are. Money comes as a byproduct of who you become. And in these past 5 months, I've become a new man, an evolved man, a more self-aware man, and the money has come with it. So my final message to any young man who is ambitious and is feeling that stress and constant overthinking and demons in his head about, I'm not enough, I have to do more, I have to do this. You are enough.